The smartest HR manager in the world knows what is for which employee the right compensation, but also knows that when an employee stays in the organization, what is his or her motivation. Welcome to the smartest HR manager in the world. And tonight is actually a special edition as we welcome 3 HR experts. All of them are HR consultants implementing strategies at several Fortune 500 companies. They're all real HR gurus. Welcome Gus, Jan Willem and Felix. With the COVID pandemic, remote working and consequently also remote onboarding has become a hot topic. Onboarding is a crucial aspect of joining a company as it really makes or breaks the whole selection process. And that's exactly why we'll talk about remote onboarding today. So let's immediately start with some questions regarding this rising trend of remote onboarding in the first round called 369. Question 1. So now why has it recently gained so much attention is because research showed that successful remote onboarding process increases the retention rate of new hires tremendously. And so what is the average cost of one turnover in a US-based company? The closest guess wins. Gus?
I guess $8,000.
Jan Willem?
I think it will be close to $15,000.
Felix?
My guess is 2,000.
Yeah, Jan Willem, actually you're really close. It's 16,060 euros. Now, why is it actually so high? Can you maybe explain this?
I would say that it's high because the hiring and onboarding process costs time. It also costs money. And when you take in a new employee, you make some recruitment costs, onboarding costs, training costs. And when they eventually leave, you also have lost productivity. And some studies are pointing that each turnover is costing about 6 to 9 times an employee's monthly salary.
Okay, thanks for this explanation, Jan Willem. So the cost opportunity to lose new hires is just way too high, and that's why remote onboarding is such a trend. Let's move on to the second question. Which of the following is not a major challenge for companies trying to achieve successful remote onboarding?
I know this one.
Yeah, Gus.
A is a big challenge because not all firms have digital onboarding processes, and those that do rely on very tedious paperwork. For answer B is also not it, because you can imagine that when you're working from separate locations, the lack of face-to-face communication is the first issue that pops up. Also for challenge D, failing to address proper digital training can make the working experience very bumpy for the new hire. And this can lead to unmotivated and unsatisfied employees who can become socially isolated. So I'm going to go with option C because we're talking about download and upload speed here.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's spot on, Gus. Thank you for the explanation too. Okay, so now we know something more on this stringent HRM problem. Let's go to the second round called the puzzle round, where the quizzers need to solve a puzzle by linking words together. Now, some business engineers came up with a well-known three-folded framework to make the transition towards remote onboarding successfully. I will now show you guys a puzzle. Try to come up with the right answer by connecting the words together. We are looking for the 3 pillars of their well-known framework.
Yeah, so I think that training, schooling, and mentor is one, linked to education. Reviews, continuous improvements, and service must be together as well. This is feedback. And then finally, group interaction and communication must be social.
Yeah, indeed, that's spot on. And here you actually see the framework. Could you maybe explain this a little bit more in depth, Felix?
Yes, I can. So we can interpret these 3 pillars as solutions to the challenge of digital onboarding. So when you develop systems in place for these 3 aspects, you will have a higher retention rate and less turnover. So a social system is very important because this will improve not only the well-being of the new hire, but also the entire team itself. So you will have more cohesiveness and you will have a more satisfied and productive hire. Then the second system is the educational system. This is also very important because a well-informed employee is a good employee. And so he or she will then be more productive and also have a higher retention. Then lastly, feedback is also very important. A feedback system is not only good to improve the customization of the person who is currently being hired or onboarded, but also to improve the entire process of digital onboarding for new hires in the future.
Okay, yeah, thank you for this, Felix. And this actually brings us to the end score. Congratulations to you, Felix. You won this virtual edition of Who is the Smartest HR Manager in the World? You've won a personal meeting with the students who developed the solution to make a successful transition towards remote onboarding.